Hi everyone, my name is Alexi Meredith. I'm one of the dietitians who works for Salt Lake County WIC. Welcome to my virtual class on topics related to nutrition and exercise for postpartum moms. I'm excited to share it with you. I want to start out by saying that while losing pregnancy weight is a big concern for many women, there is no one right way to manage your weight. Everyone has different motivations, priorities, commitments, and there is no one solution that works for everyone. My goal with this class is to cover some helpful tips and perhaps new ways of thinking that you can use as you're trying to figure out how to make healthy eating and exercise possible for your individual situation, and that ultimately you can have a happy and healthy relationship with your body. In this class, we will be covering the following topics: intuitive eating, portion sizes, at-home exercises and activities, and setting goals. First, we will start with a discussion on intuitive eating. Intuitive eating involves creating a healthy relationship between your mind, body, and food. It is about changing the way you think about food so that you can learn to develop positive feelings and remove the guilt associated with dieting and food choices. Benefits of intuitive eating include the following. It can help us learn to feel at peace with our food choices. We can also learn to better listen to what our bodies need, such as when we are hungry and when we are full. Lastly, intuitive eating can be used as a tool for natural weight management. On the next few slides, we'll be covering the main principles of intuitive eating. The first principle we will cover is rejecting the diet mentality. Diets are temporary. When someone goes on a diet, they will eventually go off, which may be followed by negative feelings and weight gain, and then a cycle of dieting again, as the picture shows. On the other hand, intuitive eating is not a diet, it is a lifestyle change. As a tool for natural weight management, when you change the way you think about eating, you are often able to make more permanent changes or habits that result in a healthier lifestyle and can lead to weight loss. The benefits of intuitive eating are not only physical but emotional as well. You are freeing your mind from rules and restrictions around food, which can bring relief and happiness. Be careful to not treat intuitive eating as a diet. Unlike a diet, intuitive eating is not something that needs to be followed strictly. Rather, it is a set of principles that are meant to help you change your perspective about food and make changes that can benefit you long term. Next is honor your hunger. This involves learning to recognize hunger and eat before you get so hungry that you end up overeating. Some feelings you may have when you are hungry that we call hunger cues include feeling emptiness or growling and gnawing in your stomach pain, headache, lightheadedness, difficulty concentrating, irritability or feeling hangry, and other things that you may notice. Learning to recognize these hunger cues can help you to understand your body and what it needs. On the flip side of honoring your hunger, we have respecting your fullness. This involves listening to your body to know when you are no longer hungry. Instead of eating until you are stuffed, try stopping when you are satisfied or no longer feel hungry. Here are some tips you can try to evaluate how full you are. Eat at a slower pace. The quicker we eat, sometimes the less likely we are to notice we are getting full. Also, don't feel obligated to eat everything on your plate. We often have the urge to finish everything, but we can easily save part of our meal for another time if we are too full to finish. Take time during the meal to ask, "Am I satisfied?" This can help you pause to check where your hunger is and decide if you should continue or stop eating. Another tip is to include protein or fat at your meals to help you stay full longer. These foods could include things like meat, chicken, tuna, eggs, cottage cheese, peanut butter, nuts, or avocado. Here is a visual for helping you to recognize hunger and fullness. At number 1, we have ravenous. You're so hungry that you'll eat anything. Next is uncomfortably hungry. You can't ignore your hunger and everything looks and sounds good to eat. When you're very hungry, your stomach is growling and you have hunger pains. 4 is when you're a little hungry. You feel like you're getting hungry and it's time to think about what to eat. 5 is neutral. You're neither hungry nor full. 6 is satisfied and light. You're just right. You're satisfied, but you could easily eat more. 7 is when you're full. You're totally satisfied and your hunger is gone. You won't be hungry for a few more hours. 8 is when you're very full and when you don't want to eat anything else. When you're very uncomfortably full, you feel stuffed and uncomfortable. And then when you're at 10, painfully full, you might even feel sick. So in general, it's recommended to try to stay within the green areas from about 3 to 6. So very hungry to satisfied and light, maybe full. Of course, as a new mom, you won't always be able to follow this exactly. Sometimes you might be at a 1 or 2 feeling starved because you had to take care of your baby, or you didn't notice how hungry you were. Some of you might be going back to work, so you have lunch schedules or breaks that determine when you eat. But when time and circumstances allow, the hunger scale can be a useful tool to help you better listen to your body. Another thing to remember is that it can take up to 20 minutes from when you first eat until you actually start to feel full. So keep that in mind as you're thinking about where you are on the scale. Next is making peace with food. Similar to rejecting the diet mentality, making peace with food is about not putting limits on what you eat, which can actually make you crave foods more. Instead, try allowing yourself those foods in small amounts and feel comfortable with your choice. Remember, all foods provide your body with energy. There are no good and bad foods, just more and less nutrient-dense foods, which refers to foods that provide a higher nutritional value. Things like whole grains, fruits, vegetables, lean meats, and dairy. But that doesn't mean that other foods are bad, just that you should select them less often or in smaller amounts to make sure you get the nutrients your body needs. Tying back to the hunger scale, making peace with food may also mean sometimes eating when you aren't necessarily hungry, such as eating a piece of cake at a birthday party, which is okay because it's not something you do often. It's also important to enjoy your food. Allow yourself to enjoy the experience of eating. You'll find that it takes less food to fill you up when you take the time to enjoy it. Here are some tips to help you focus on eating. Turn off the TV, phones, and other electronics that might distract you. Sit down at the table if possible, or another area where you can focus. Pay close attention to the colors, textures, smells, and taste of your food. Eat slower and appreciate the flavors. Next, we have learning to cope with your emotions without using food. Oftentimes, people turn to comfort food when they are sad, bored, stressed, or lonely, which can lead to overeating. Instead of turning to food, try other ways to cope with your emotions, which could include listening to music, doing something you enjoy, taking a nap, exercising, calling a friend, meditating, or writing in a journal. If you find that you're struggling to cope with your emotions, seek out a licensed professional. Ask WIC for resources. Another important principle is to respect your body and become comfortable in your own skin. Not everyone has the same body type. Would a person with a shoe size of 9 expect to squeeze into a size 6? Of course not. Try not to have that same expectation with body size. It's important to be comfortable with your body and focus on health as a whole rather than just being thin. Think of all that your body has done for you, like growing a baby, and the little things it does for you each day. You can think, make decisions, move, breathe, communicate, feel your heartbeat, and many more things. Next is to move your body. Like eating, activity can and should be enjoyable. If the word exercise bothers you, don't use it. Think of it as being active or moving your body rather than sitting still. Focus on how you feel when you are active, such as energized. Choose to do activities that are fun for you and don't focus on how many calories you need to burn. We will talk more about exercise in a few minutes and give some ideas for at-home exercises and activities. Lastly, it's important to honor your health by giving your body the nutrients it needs, but also balancing that with happiness. You'll notice that you feel good when you eat nutrient-dense foods, but remember that you don't have to eat a perfect diet to be healthy. Try to eat a balanced diet of all food groups, including whole grains, fruits, vegetables, dairy, and protein foods, but don't forget to include an occasional dessert or other comfort food. To wrap up intuitive eating, remember that it is about focusing on creating healthy relationships with food and eating. Change will not happen overnight, so be patient like the picture of this snail can remind you. Give yourself time to apply these principles throughout your life, and over time you may feel happier and healthier as you practice intuitive eating. The next topic we'll discuss is portion sizes. First, portion sizes are beneficial to help prevent overeating. Think back to the hunger scale. Reducing amounts of foods can also help reduce calories, which can help with weight management. Also, portion sizes help ensure you get a balance of different foods and nutrients, rather than filling up on only 1 to 2 different foods. Like we learned with intuitive eating, it is important to enjoy your food, just in moderation. On the next few slides, we will cover some methods for portioning your food and making sure you get a balance of foods. Here is a picture showing the breakdown of the 5 food groups and some examples from each group. As you might notice, WIC provides at least some foods from all of the food groups. Before we go into portion sizes, I want to mention that what's most important is trying to eat from all the food groups regularly so your body can get a balance of nutrients. Try to eat from each of these food groups each day. It's okay if you eat more than 1 serving of a food at some meals and none at another. You may not end up eating from each food group every day, and that is fine. Just aim to get a balance on most days. Each day is going to be different. Along with that, eating regular meals throughout the day can help you heal faster and have more energy, especially after having your baby. If you don't like some foods, that is also okay. Just try to include something else from the same food group that you enjoy. If you need ideas on how to include food groups in your diet, ask a WIC nutritionist. The simplest way to think of portion sizes is to try to visualize the groups on a plate. Keep in mind you won't always have all 5 food groups at each meal, and sometimes your foods will be mixed together, like in a casserole. But thinking in terms of food groups can still help when you plan your meals and choose portion sizes. For example, you could try to include at least 3 food groups for meals and 2 food groups for snacks, and visualize the amounts taking up about 1/4 of your plate, as the picture shows. Another way you can think about portion sizes is by using your hand. This can be helpful when you don't have a scale or measuring cups around or just prefer to use estimates. The palm of your hand is equal to about 3 ounces of poultry, meat, or fish. Your fist is equal to about 1 cup of rice, pasta, fruits, veggies, or ice cream. A cupped hand is equal to about 1/2 cup of beans and potatoes. 2 cupped hands is equal to about 1 ounce of chips, popcorn, or pretzels. These foods are lighter. And for your thumb, there are 2 measurements. Your actual thumb is equal to about 1 ounce of peanut butter or hard cheese, and then the tip of your thumb is equal to about 1 teaspoon of cooking oil, mayo, or butter. If you want to think in terms of more specific servings, I will show you the breakdown from the Guide to a Healthy New Mom book from WIC. And for each group, it shows you how much counts as one serving from each group, and then how many servings is recommended per day. So for grains, at least 7 servings a day. This includes 1 slice of bread or a 6-inch tortilla, half of a bagel or whole wheat bun, half a cup of cooked cereal, rice or noodles, or 1 cup of cold cereal. For vegetables, it recommends at least 5 servings a day, and this could include half a cup of raw or cooked veggies, a half a cup of vegetable or tomato soup, 4 ounces of vegetable or tomato juice, and 1 cup of fresh salad greens. Fruits, the recommendation is 4 servings a day, and this includes a half a cup of fruit, 1 whole apple, orange, or peach, or 4 ounces of 100% fruit juice. For protein, the recommendation is at least 6 servings per day. This includes a 1/4 cup of meat, chicken, turkey, or fish, 1 egg, a 1/4 cup of beans or tofu, a tablespoon of peanut butter, or 2 tablespoons of nuts. Dairy is at least 3 servings per day, which includes 8 ounces or 1 cup of milk, a cup of yogurt, or 1 to 2 slices of cheese. And lastly, fats, oils, and sweets. The recommendation is to add a little bit of healthy fat like olive or canola oil, avocados, nuts, and seeds. These things help keep your cholesterol low, but they are high in calories, so the recommendation is just 5 to 6 teaspoons a day. And remember, the servings of these foods can be divided throughout the day however you like. The most important thing is to listen to your body. For example, you could try starting out with 1 serving of each food you're having, and then add more as you listen to your body's hunger and fullness. For packaged foods, you could try eating the recommended serving size on the nutrition facts label, and then stop to evaluate your hunger. Next, we'll talk about exercises and activities that you can do at home that do not require a gym or equipment. First, some benefits of exercise or activity include boosting your energy, improving your mood, reducing stress, managing your weight, and toning your muscles. Like we learned in the intuitive eating section, activity can and should be enjoyable, so choose something that you like to do. Remember to take it easy at first. Talk to your doctor to make sure your body is ready for activity. Now we'll talk about some ideas for activities and exercises that can be completed inside. You could try working physical activity into your daily routine, like doing housework. Like the picture shows, you could do laundry, the dishes, making beds, sweeping, things that you would need to do anyways, but can count as physical activity. You could even put on music if that helps you be able to enjoy that. You can dance by doing Zumba, jazzercise, or just dancing around the house for fun. You could do indoor games with your kids, so things like head, shoulders, knees, and toes, Simon Says, just those activities that help you move your body. You could try yoga or Pilates, workout videos on YouTube. You could jog in place while watching TV, or you could try a spell your name workout, which I'll show. So the idea for the spell your name workout is to do the exercise for each letter of your name. Alternatively, you could spell your partner's name, your kid's name, or another word. The idea is just to choose a word that you can do the exercises to. This is a similar idea, but it's a 10-minute workout, and it just has you do 1 minute each of the exercises listed. So you could even do a couple exercises in the morning, some in the afternoon, and some before you go to bed. Or you could substitute the exercises if you don't like doing bridges, for example. You could just choose an activity that you do like to do and do that for 1 minute. Now here are some ideas for being active outside. You could walk around the block so it doesn't take you too far from being away from home. If you have kids that go to school nearby, you could try walking them to school. You could play at a nearby park. You could do outdoor games with your kids, things like hopscotch, hula hoop, jump rope, or you can do yard work, whatever season you're in. There's gardening in the spring and summer, raking leaves in the fall, shoveling snow in the winter, things like that. Another way to enjoy activity is to be active together with someone you enjoy being around. This can help you to have a better experience, and you can keep each other motivated. For example, you can invite your kids or partner to be active with you, or you could call a friend or a sibling to do an activity together, like walking or taking your kids to the park, or doing a Zumba or yoga session. Okay, now we will talk about setting goals. Benefits of goal setting include helping you turn wishes into specific goals, giving you a sense of direction in your life, and helping you form habits. So as you repeat your behaviors related to eating and activity, you can begin to form new routines. Now we will go over SMART goals. You may or may not have heard of these before, but SMART goals just refers to a goal that is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And the questions on the bottom of each of these help make sure that your goal follows that specific letter. So for specific, what specifically do you want to do? Measurable is how will you know when you've reached it? Achievable is asking yourself if it is within your power to accomplish it. And R is can you realistically achieve it? T is when exactly do you want to accomplish it? We'll just go through some examples, starting with I will eat more vegetables. This is a goal, but it's vague, so how can we fix it? We could start by asking ourselves how much vegetables we're going to eat, when we're going to eat them, and how long we want our goal to last. So if we rewrite the goal, that could look something like this. I will eat half a cup of vegetables at lunch and dinner for the next month. That is a lot more SMART than our previous goal. I will eat more vegetables. The next example is I will exercise every day. So again, what type of exercise? When will you exercise? And for how long? You could change it by saying I will walk for 30 minutes per day after lunch for the next month. So for how long, we're actually measuring how long for each exercise session, and then how long will we try this goal for the next month. And in the talk of goal setting, just remember that success is rarely a straight shot like the left side of this picture shows. You will have ups and downs and curves like on the right before you actually reach your goal. Just remember that it's a process and have fun. And don't forget to reward yourself. So choose something that will help keep you motivated. For example, you could listen to your favorite music while you exercise, or watch a favorite TV episode before bed if you met your goal for that day. Just something that will help keep you going. And other helpful resources for you for meal ideas. I know that's a big one that people often would like some help with. We do have a WIC recipe book that uses WIC foods to create different meals and snacks. So if you haven't received one, go ahead and ask one of us to get you one of those. And we have our guide for a healthy new mom, which I've referenced a few times. So I love that this gives ideas for mini meals, and there's also some ideas for foods on the go, like if you go out to eat, there's some healthier options. And myplate.gov is another website I really like. It's a great resource to learn about the food groups, so you can learn about each of the food groups in MyPlate. You can also look up different information about life stages, and so for pregnancy and breastfeeding, infants, toddlers, preschoolers, even your older kids. The My Plate Kitchen lets you look at recipes, and it lets you organize them by different food groups or budget level, things like that. And you can actually save your favorite recipes and create a digital cookbook. I want to end by saying thank you for watching this class, and I hope that you found some useful tips to help you be happy and healthy during your postpartum journey. And these are the sources I used.